Hey people, I am almost in my backyard this week as I visit a wonderful museum in Pinellas Park, Florida. I hope you enjoy it. The Tampa Bay Automobile Museum features 19,000 square feet of cars and auto memorabilia. Featured here are 1920s and 1930s front-wheel drive and rear-engine pioneering cars that were an important part in the evolution of the automobile. The founder of the museum was born in France and bought his first vintage car out of necessity back in the 1950s when these beauties were less expensive than a modern people's car. He garaged these classics waiting for the day when he could restore them and enjoy them even more. This museum's collection ranges from Mustangs to Supercars, vehicles produced in the U.S., France, Germany, Czechoslovakia, and other countries. The Tampa Bay Automobile Museum is different from other museums in that there is a heavier focus on European cars. You don't see that in many museums in the U.S., and what's cool is that while some of the more rare cars may have a barrier between you and the car, most of the vehicles are displayed without a barrier, making it possible to walk right up to the car. I love it, and I love this museum. The museum founder and his wife lived in France and purchased all these cars while living there. This two-seat 1937 Peugeot was the first car purchased by the couple, and it is now worth around $900,000. Well, kids came along and they had to get this 1951 Salmsman to haul the family. The Salmson Company was a French company well known for building very reliable radial aircraft engines powering airplanes in the First World War era. What a beautiful collection of cars to bring over from across the pond. I love it. Check out this 1922 Milburn Light electric car, hooked up to a charger right here in the museum. Over 4,000 of these cars were built by the largest wagon company in the world, the Milburn Wagon Company in Ohio. Now, this car may have been built long before Tesla put the battery in the floor of the car where you can't even see it. Oh, you can see the batteries in this car's trunk and frunk or hood area. Batteries on both ends of the car. The car is driven by tillers and appears to have a lot of space inside. What a beautiful car, though. I would say it's more beautiful than today's electric cars for sure. Another beauty is this 1961 Deutz Bonnet Le Mans from France. This car has a fiberglass body and hardtop, a folding top under the removable hardtop, a two-cylinder horizontally opposed air-cooled engine, and front-wheel drive. The car was so lightweight, at under 1,500 pounds, that it could hit 103 miles per hour, despite that tiny engine. Wow! The 1950 Allard is a beautiful car, and the P1 shown here is representation of the first British car to win the Monte Carlo Rally in many years of trying. Believe it or not, this car has a Ford flathead V8, and Allard Company also employed Cadillac engines. This 1951 Rayone resembles an airplane fuselage, has four wheels, and a wide stance in the front and narrow in the rear. The car may look like an airplane with a narrow cockpit-type design, driver up front and passenger in the rear, but the design follows the configuration of the Messerschmitt bubble car shown here. A tiny one-cylinder engine powered this car via a 3-speed manual transmission and a chain driving the rear wheels. This car is displayed with its most unusual feature in use. The front wheels fold in for parking to allow the car to make a smaller footprint, close to the size of a motorcycle, which made parking in European towns with narrow streets a little bit easier. Here's a view of the car with the wheels folded out in the driving configuration. This 1936 Mercedes was the company's first attempt at building a people's car. One of the prototypes was even built by Porsche, and just over 2,000 of these cars were built in the factory. Cool innovations introduced in this rear-engine car included four-wheel independent suspension, a synchronized transmission with clutchless overdrive, and a backbone chassis. I love this color combination as well. It's great. Here's a 1937 Mercedes 170H that to me resembles a Volkswagen Beetle, but a fancier looking Volkswagen. The engine is in the rear, but it doesn't look like a VW here. The car was imported to the U.S. in 1937 with English gauges included, leather seats, overdrive, and a radio. Hey, that's a step above the Volkswagen class back then. This 1942 Tatra caught my attention, not only for that blue color, but it's a very unique and beautiful car. Notice the third headlight in the middle of the hood. And this car has a 75 horsepower air-cooled V8 engine. Now I know that VW and Porsche have air-cooled 4 and 6-cylinder engines, but this being an air-cooled V8 was something new to me. Only around 3,000 of these cars were built, and it's estimated that fewer than 100 exist today. These cars were imported to Germany from Czechoslovakia, and Germany used them in the war. These cars had a top speed of 100 miles per hour, but were dangerous to drive due to being prone to oversteer. Now, oversteer is when the rear end of the car flips around when you go through a corner, and I assume that this is a result of having such a large engine located in the rear end. It's said that German officers favored this car due to the comfort it provided, but so many of them lost their lives that Germany forbade the use of the car. This Czechoslovakian 1950 Tatra plan was so named to pay homage to the first communist economic plan. Oh man, this car doesn't look anything like any communist cars I've ever seen. Most of them are boring, drab, devoid of any appealing design, I tell you what. 1935 Audi 225 Cabriolet is looking fine as wine. Today's Audis are front drivers, and hey, this one is too. The 225 was Europe's first car to combine a 6-cylinder engine and front-wheel drive. This car was found by the museum right here in my hometown of Lakeland, and the highly skilled museum team restored it to the beauty that you see here today. Man, very nice indeed. This 1965 Ford Mustang with a 289 V8 is actually an all-wheel drive prototype that was modified in England by Harry Ferguson Research, where they installed a Ferguson Formula One all-wheel drive system. Mr. Ferguson invented a transmission in the 1950s that drove all 4 wheels and offered different torque to the front and rear wheels. Sir Sterling Moss, considered one of Formula One's greatest drivers of all time, won races in cars equipped with the Ferguson system. This Mustang was not only equipped with the all-wheel drive system, but it also had an early version of anti-lock brakes, a braking system that was originally designed and used on airplanes. The Mustang was brought back to the U.S. for demonstration to Ford, Chrysler, GM, and American Motors, with hopes that the companies would see benefit in marketing the all-wheel drive system. An unmodified Mustang was also present at the demonstration to show that massive difference that was achieved. Despite the safety that the Ferguson system would offer, the companies all turned it down due to the cost and the belief that American public would not be interested in paying for it. If you've ever owned or driven a Mustang with a powerful V8 like I have, you know that an all-wheel drive system would be beneficial for that tail-sliding, spinning-out character of the Mustang. The newest car in the collection is this 2008 AREX Super Coupe Roadster. It's a supercar. A supercharged Corvette engine powers this one-of-a-kind car, and it moves from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds with a top speed of 200 miles per hour. What's cool about the history of this car is that it was designed by a Disney star from the early days of Disney. He sent himself to design school in California and ended up designing not only his dream supercar here, but he was part of the team who designed the Toyota Celica. I was told that the museum rescued this car for only about $20,000, but the insurance value is $200,000. Woo! Hey, thanks for joining me today. God bless you and peace.